Hi, my name is Rabbi Dunner. Welcome to my weekly Erev Shabbos Dvar Torah. In this week's Parshat, Lecha, we read about a dispute between Avram and his nephew Lot. Avram discovers that Lot is allowing his shepherds to graze his sheep in other people's property. So Avram says to Lot, please, I don't want there to be any arguments between me and you, or between my shepherds and your shepherds. After all, we're family. There's plenty of land around here for all of us. Let's just separate from each other. And if you go left, I'll go right. And if you go right, I'll go left. And let's just stay friends. Now, all the commentaries are very puzzled. What happened to Lot? When he arrived in Canaan with Avram, he was a good guy. How did he evolve into this bad character? The standard answer we hear is that Lot was blinded by all the wealth that he got in Egypt. When a person becomes wealthy, his worldview changes, and Lot was no exception. He was no different. But what is interesting is that Abraham chose to abandon his nephew Lot when this thing happened with the shepherds. Why didn't Avram at least try to patch things up? Why didn't he try to educate Lot about the error of his ways? The Torah seems to indicate that Avraham felt that Lot, his nephew, who until now had been dependent on him, now he's able to fend for himself. So Avram decided that he could no longer tolerate Lot's presence because Lot's priorities and morals were so different to his. The lesson seems to be that when righteous people are on a mission to be righteous, they must do everything they can to separate themselves from evil. Sur meira v'aseh tov. And they must separate themselves from distractions and influences that could ruin everything. Those who daven, you're watching this, if you daven Nusach Sfard, you have a special prayer that you say on Friday night after Kabbalat Shabbat. It begins with the word kegavna. Now, in that prayer, which is taken from the text of the Zohar, the Kabbalistic work, it says that when Shabbos arrives, she divests herself of the other side from any trace of impurity. Despite the fact that during the week we come into contact with people, with ideologies that are not holy, things which are not aspirational in their spirituality, on the holy day of Shabbos, there is no place for any of them. Now, just a couple of weeks ago, we finished the festival of Sukkot. I once heard a rabbi say that we're prohibited from bringing anything into the sukkah that will violate its sanctity. In my view, the same principle should apply to the holy day of Shabbos. We welcome the Shabbos by saying that Hashem is our King and that Shabbos is the source of all of our blessings. In order to be true recipients of those blessings, we must make sure that we leave all the bad stuff from the weekdays behind us so that it doesn't weigh us down on Shabbos. Just like Abraham told Lot that he had to go, to move away, we need to banish all the Lots in our lives before Shabbos starts so that our holy day will be that, holy and special. And now, let me tell you a great story. There was an Orthodox Jewish salesman from Deal, that's in New Jersey, who often had to travel around the country for his work. And sometimes it was for several weeks at a time. Of course, he always tried to schedule his trip so that he could be in the types of places for Shabbos where there was kosher food and proper food for Shabbos, I'm talking about, not just crackers and salami that he brought with him, that he took with him from home. Now, one of his usual stops for Shabbos was Memphis in Tennessee. And on one of his trips, he was going to Birmingham, Alabama, to meet the president of a company that he was hoping to get an account with. All of his attempts in previous years to get an appointment with this guy had been unsuccessful. He just never could get a meeting. But this year, he was pleasantly surprised, and the guy agreed to see him. And he made an appointment for Thursday. Well, that's fine, that's okay. But as it turned out, this potential customer, the president of this company, was in a meeting on Thursday, and it took longer than he expected. It ended late, and the salesman was told to return the next morning. The next morning was Friday. Oh, okay, he came at 9 a.m. the next morning, and again, he's told by the staff that he's going to need to wait a couple of hours. Now, this salesman from Deal, New Jersey, he started getting really nervous. As the time of his appointment, whatever it was, it came, it went, and he just knocked on the president of the company's door and told him, listen, I'm sorry, I've got to go. The guy saw him, gave him a small order, and he left for the airport as quickly as he could. He managed to make it to Memphis just before Shabbos, but it was too late to get his food. He decided that at the very least, he's going to spend Shabbos in a bit of a nicer hotel than he usually does, just so that he can have Menuchas Shabbos. He's very upset about his situation, but what could he do? Anyway, he began unpacking his bags. Can you imagine his surprise? He opens one of the closets, and inside there was enough kosher food to serve 10 people. He even found some fantastic kosher wine. Where was it from? Literally a miracle. He thanked Hashem for the wonderful gift, and let me tell you, that Shabbos, he had a wonderful time, a wonderful Shabbos, beautiful hotel, fantastic food, great wine. On Sunday, this salesman, he flies home, and a few weeks later, he was at a social event, and he overheard some people speaking about a recent trip that they'd had to Memphis. He leaned forward to hear a bit more closely what they were saying. They said that their trip had been cut short because of a health problem. Somebody had a health problem, a medical issue, and they all had to rush back to New York. I wonder what happened to all that food we brought in, one of them said. The salesman smiled. I know what happened to it. Everyone looked at him. I'll tell you what happened to that food, he said. It didn't go to waste. I ate it. I had a fantastic Shabbos. What a story. Go figure. Anyway, wishing you all a Shabbat Shalom. Thank you so much for watching. Good Shabbos. Good Shabbos.